3 celebrities who disappeared to rebuild themselves. At some point in life, many people disappeared, falling into depression, just stepping back from scene, and that's okay. While being in depression, I was searching and looking for someone from whom I can reflect and understand that everything is okay, and that it's okay that I disappeared from social life, from visibility. It's totally normal. So I was googling like what kind of celebrities step out from the scene to rebuild themselves and come back stronger. I needed to know that there's a light at the end, that people come back stronger and they come back in general, you know, there is coming back. So here's what I found. The first celebrity is Adele. Adele actually stepped out from social public life twice. Once after becoming a mother, and then again after her divorce. She spoke quite openly about losing her sense of self and this urge to step out from the scene to rebuild herself. So I was finding my answers in her interviews, not many of them, in her speeches. As we know, she was constantly working on herself through her body again, through therapy, and when she done this work, she came back stronger than ever. She came back with the album 30. It's a big album, it's a strong comeback, and in order to come back that strong, you needed this time. So that was my answer, that it's okay to step out, it's okay to take off a few years of being social and public in the scene, so you can come back stronger. You can come back with the form of art you've been building, you know what I mean? Her words: I had to truly sit with myself. I had to face the parts of me I've been avoiding. I wasn't happy, and I realized no one's coming to fix me but me. That's basically what I was saying in the previous episode. First of all, no one will pull you out if you're constantly seeking for a praise, validation from other people to tell you you're doing good, you're doing fine, you're great, like you're this and that. To seek a therapy from your friends especially, it will expand this void even more. So only you could pull yourself out of that. And another part, she was saying, I had to face the parts of me I've been avoiding. For me, it applies to my isolation. I couldn't see some people because it would mirror me, my trauma, the thing I need to work on. But sometimes I would just avoid this. Like, I didn't want to look at it. But in order to heal that, you have to look. You have to take all of your strengths and look at this. Start dropping down into small portions of how you're gonna work on yourself, how you're gonna work on this trauma, on this thing. Again, it all starts from small steps, not big decisions, small decisions. And the last saying: my whole life fell apart and I had to rebuild a version of myself that was completely new. That's how I feel right now. I just turned 30 and I feel like my prime is coming, it's building inside me, you know, it's like stocking up, and I never ever felt that good, that in harmony, that fulfilled ever in my life. Ever. So I'm so grateful for that moment, for that depression. So yeah, that was first celebrity I look up to her story to find my answers. The second celebrity was Lady Gaga. She withdrew from the spotlight after chronic pain, trauma resurfacing, emotional collapse, and burnout. Fame had consumed her identity that much that she needed silence to figure out who she was without performance, applause, audience, scene in general. So I was looking up at her story, reading her interviews, what she was saying while being in that state, and I found a lot of treasures, a lot of answers. So if you're interested, also dive deep. What I learned here, that when you're a public figure, when you're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, People always have a better point of view of yourself, so they constantly pointing like, oh, you should be this, or you should be that, or don't do this and don't do that. And when it's a lot of that, it's crazy. I can't even imagine what they had to go through. But at the same time, I always say this example that the bigger your scene is, the bigger the scene is, the easier. Because imagine you're on the stage when it's a lot of people. You can't see them all, you can't understand what they saying, all of them at once, you know. But when the scene, the stage is smaller, you can hear all of them individually, you know. So the bigger your scene, the bigger your stage, the easier it gets, in my opinion. I don't know yet, but we'll see. So her dark room time she spent in therapy, of course. I remember she mentioned somewhere that she was going to yoga a lot. She found a lot of her answers through yoga. I did yoga as well. I did a lot of meditations. Again, as I said in the previous episode, mind-body connection. It cannot be just therapy, just mind. It has to be body as well. Through the movement, you understand balance, you understand the patience, you understand the resilience. When you marry those two things, it's an amazing result, really. When she returned, especially with a star born, people saw a woman that transformed, grounded, mature, deeply real. So also a strong comeback. Few of her words: I lost myself for a long time. I had to take a break from everything to find the real me. Identity crisis. I used to live for the applause, then I realized I didn't even know who I was without it. That's a void we've been talking about. I needed to disappear for a while so I could come back whole. I could relate to this so much. Now I can understand all of this, but back then, again, you don't know that there's a light at the end. It's just a constant dark room, dark loop that has been going on, feels like forever. So now it makes me happy that I truly understand what they're talking about. And the third person, my favorite actor, Johnny Depp. I feel like I understand him so much. I don't know how to explain this. I am a hermit myself, and I feel like he also has this hermit life, you know, like this feeling like no one could ever get you, could ever understand you. A few years ago I went to his art exhibition, and all of this art that he brought, I could live through this. I could live through all these words, all what he was trying to say. Like, I didn't need any explanation, just I understand, you know, like when you feel that you can understand someone. So yeah, Johnny Depp went through a long period of personal collapse, legal battles, emotional turmoil, and identity crisis. He stepped away from Hollywood, withdrew from public life, stopped taking major roles, and retreated into isolation and music. Isolation, that what I was talking about, this hermit life, this deep isolation. But yeah, quick reminder, do not isolate yourself too much. When he resurfaced years later, he spoke openly about being broken and needing time to rebuild privately, without cameras, without the world watching. And his words, I went through a dark time, a very dark time. I had to rediscover my footing as a human being. I felt broken. I had to take time away to put the piece back together. Silence saved me. It was the only place I could hear myself again. We talked about it in the previous video. In order to hear yourself, you need silence, you need space. But again, do not isolate yourself too much. You still need your people, you still need your reflection mirrors. But yeah, I looked up at his story, his work, his art, and I found a lot of answers there that helped me. So yeah, if you're in this moment right now, look up at people who made it. Look up at those who came back stronger. Trust the process, that it's a natural process. You needed that time. Respect your depression. You know, it's like nature have cycles: autumn, winter, summer, and without winter we cannot step into summer. We need that seasons, we need that cycle. Same with identity crisis, we needed that time. Naturally we needed to transform into a better, brighter, fuller, more alive version of yourself. So yeah, there is a light at the end. There is a brighter future, brighter self that awaits you. If you're in this moment right now, slowly, gently be in that transition. Do not avoid that transition. Make a space, time, comfortable place for that moment. And trust me, one day you will look at this time as a treasure, as something you really needed. Yeah. I wish you a good and gentle transition. Bye.